Gustavo Ribeiro is in the capital, Brasilia. Gustavo is a journalist. He's the founder of the online news magazine, The Brazilian Report. Gustavo, thanks for taking time to talk to us. I mean, we heard in that report that it's that Brazilian variant that is driving up the number of infections and deaths in the country. And we've been talking for months about how Brazil's health system was being put under stress. Has it cracked yet, the health system?
Well, we are seeing throughout the country, ICU occupancy rates reach the brink of collapse. And we have seen collapse in several cities. And it is a widespread phenomenon. Last year, we saw some collapses in a few regions, but the pandemic was progressing differently according to different regions. And now we're seeing a homogeneous state of near collapse. And the problem is we're seeing hospitals not able to deal with the burden of the sheer demand that they have. And we're also experiencing a sort of collapse of the funerary system with cemeteries suspending burials and funerals because they can cope with the demand.
What's happening in individual states where governors don't have the same political ideology as President Bolsonaro?
Well, Brazil is a federation, so there's a lot of autonomy for local elected officials, and we are seeing several states enact their own lockdown-like measures. In São Paulo, for instance, we saw a 10-day holiday trying to jack up isolation rates. It was not very successful in that. We have, although, seen a slight reduction in the number of hospitalizations in São Paulo, but experts say in unison that without a coordinated nationwide effort, we're going to do what we call in Brazil trying to dry a melting ice cube with a futile effort.
How worried should Brazil be about being cut off from the rest of the world? Here in the UK, a Brazilian citizen is not allowed to enter the country. It would be an illegal act unless they were a resident of the UK. But what about Brazil being a country there in South America with so many local neighbors and borders with other Latin American countries? What's the danger of all of them saying, if you're coming from Brazil, you're not allowed in?
Well, that has already started. Bolivia has implemented a sort of border control to curb the crossing of that border. Even Venezuela, where President Nicolas Maduro has been highly criticized for not being transparent in the way that he's dealing with the pandemic and for overseeing a socio-economic collapse for the past few years, he has found himself in the moral high ground to say that Brazil is not acting as it should when it comes to the pandemic and has not pulled any punches on Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. Several countries, Uruguay has done the same. So Brazil is already being cut off from Mercosur states where there used to be free circulation of people and goods and from other South American countries here.
Gustavo, thank you so much indeed. Stay safe. Gustavo Ribeiro in Brasilia.